straight arm lock or arm bar. Usually it's anterior elbow dislocation. Depending how you twist your forearm, actually opponent's forearm, you can also have medial dislocation. So Americana and kimura are next examples of the techniques which can cause dislocations. It's a quite complicated mechanism of injury, and I will try to explain the biomechanics of it later on. During no-gi World Championships Jiu-Jitsu competition in 2009, there was a survey done with regards to injuries during the competition, and the most common injury was sustained by armbar. Those were usually orthopedic injuries. So elbow joint was the most affected, alongside with the knee injuries. So today I will try to talk about elbow injuries and specifically dislocations to that joint. So I have with me a model of arm and forearm, basically elbow joint, and it consists of 3 bones. Humerus is your arm bone, ulna is your elbow bone, and another forearm bone is radius. It has a little round shape here because it goes on the radius alongside the ulna. So basically the joint has, you can say, 3 planes of motions or ranges of motions. So you've got flexion, extension, and you've got pronation and supination. So it allows you to pronate and supinate your forearm. So it's quite stable joint, and actually if we're talking about lateral stability, this is my left arm. So if we want to bend it laterally, it showed that in full extension, so when the arm is straight, 55% of stability consists of the bony structures, not ligaments, not joint bursa or whatever. It's typically just bony structures. But if the elbow is bent, so flexion, to 90 degrees, it has 75% of stability by bony structures. So it's quite stable joint. However, during the armbar injuries, kimura and also the Americana, different falls, the forces are really strong and can dislocate that joint. So you can divide joint dislocations into simple and complex. Simple dislocations are where there's no association with broken bones alongside dislocation. So usually it's ligamentous structures, and the complex are with associated bone fractures, so olecranon, or here, that bone here as well, proximal radius head, radial head, those are complicated ones. And if it comes to simple ones, we have different types of dislocation. So for example, if I catch someone in armbar and I put a lot of pressure on the forearm, so ulna and radius, and that is fixed, obviously, it's close to the body. So you put the upward force and you can dislocate frontally those bones. So you've got different types in dislocation in relation to displacement of those bones, in relation to humerus. So you can dislocate them posteriorly, so those bones will go back towards the ulna. Posterior laterally, so you can go back and to the lateral side. This one is the lateral side, and back and medial side. And also you have anterior dislocation, where, like I mentioned before, you pop those bones up and they go in front of the humerus. Also is one complicated one where those two bottom bones will split and humerus will go in between them. It's a divergent dislocation. So during, let's say, Americana, yeah, so I have that bone here and put a lot of pressure on my forearm and I lock this one here. Usually that's going to be medial dislocation. It can happen, obviously, depending how your forearm is turned, but usually I think it would be damage to UCL, ulnar collateral ligament. Similarly, if you have here, if you have kimura type of injury, so it's very similar because you're actually blocking your humerus, opponent's humerus, and you're putting pressure downward on ulna and humerus. So in that case, this force also goes that way because humerus will go displace upward, and those bones will displace downward. Very similar injury. Obviously, if we do it the other way around, that would be the opposite. But funny thing, not funny, but probably during training, I think most of those injuries would happen when you fall on your hand. So learn how to break fall and obviously tap quickly and fight your ego. Bye bye.